talk, money more. What? Main crew say they with it. Kicking down the door. Let's go. And it's the whole lane when I'm driving the machines.
All right, well, good Thursday evening, everyone. Right on schedule this week. Heavy Pour Sports, dropping the hammer. And we've got some college football to talk about this evening. Along with the boys, I'm the Hammer, Drew. Always good to see you. Joshy boy, my sidekick here. How you boys doing this evening?
We're good.
I'm doing well.
How you guys doing?
I'm doing well.
Good.
I didn't present Hammer with this, but I'm going to do it. Hammer, I'm asking you a favor tonight, and you have some time to think about it. At the end of the show, okay, we're talking about a player that once played in the Big 12, was expected to play in the Big 12, and he got caught up in a couple stuff. I need your Brendan Sorsby Big 12 bet of the year. So I need the Irish Hammer, Brendan Sorsby, Big 12 bet of the year. So I want your best bet that you have for the Big 12 presented tonight. Does that make sense?
So let me ask you this. If I have that already included in my best bets, do you want me to leave it out?
No, throw it in there. Just preface it by saying this is the Brendan Sorsby Big 12 bet of the year.
Okay.
In honor of
I may throw in one too.
One truly Brendan Sorsby.
All right. So you want a hammer lock is what you're asking me for.
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
All right. You want one of those bets that'll get you divorced if it doesn't hit.
Potentially. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or your college career getting taken away.
Getting derailed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting blackballed by the NFL. So
yeah,
that kind of bet.
Yeah, there you go.
Gotcha. We're getting into degenerate level bet
Yeah.
here. So that's where I thrive. All right. So, well, boys, we are going to dive into another 3 conferences, two junior leagues, and 1 Power 4. So we're going to look at the Mountain West, the Pac-12, and the Big 12. So 2 of these conferences look very different than they did last year because one of them really didn't exist, and the other one got plundered by the other.
Yeah.
Had to go out and get some more teams. So we're kind of, playing musical conferences with some of these, and that's okay. I mean, it is the age of, hey, how much TV money can we get if we go here? So at least the Pac-12, they're not quite to 12, but at least they're not 2. So good to see. Good to see the Pac-12 kind of exist, even though I think now it's group of 6 and Power 4, and that's how I will refer to it all season long. So don't at me when I say group of 6. It's a group of 5. There's only 5. No, there's not. Damn it, there's 6. All right.
They're fun to watch. Sure.
Let's start in the Mountain West, and kind of what we're going to do tonight, a little different than what we've done a couple of the other shows, is just in the interest of time, because I know for 2 reasons. One, it can kind of drag when we try to dig into 12 and 14 and 16 team conferences, and we all know the majority of the schools in those conferences don't have a snowball's chance in Arizona of doing anything of significance. So we're going to kind of bypass some of those. We will run down, we'll go through each team's win total projection, give our thoughts, and then if there's a team we really like or we've got like a best bet on, then we'll discuss it. But yeah, no need to deep dive into, Colorado State's 3rd string long snapper and the 8th grader that they've already offered. So we'll kind of skip some of that stuff tonight. So just real quick, the Mountain West, as I said, it's going to look a little different. Basically, it's a brand new conference, honestly. We got Boise State, Fresno State, San Diego State, Colorado State, Utah State. You starting to pick up a theme here?
A lot of states.
Yep.
Yeah. All state completely missed an opportunity to sponsor this conference. It would have been the greatest marketing ploy and representation ever.
For sure.
And because that wasn't enough, they went out and got North Dakota State from FBS. They're bumping, or excuse me, out of FCS, they're bumping up to FBS. And if you ask me, should have relegated the last two, Northern Illinois and UTEP, threw them into wherever the hell we're going to put Missouri and ship them off someplace because nobody wants to watch them play as it is. So
go
ahead.
Can we relegate Missouri for West Virginia in that 60? I would love that.
Well, that would be a trade. That wouldn't be a relegation. So, but believe me, I've been trying for 2 years to trade them, and
for sure,
no takers. So it may be the point we just got to vote them off the island.
Can we throw Kentucky football in there too? Maybe we'll be able to compete in another conference.
If it wasn't for Rando said history didn't matter. So yeah, we can do that.
I'll go to the group of six.
The basketball folks may not agree with you, but
no, just for
send
football.
Kentucky to the mat.
Yeah, we'll be that weird team that plays just football in another conference. But
yeah, I mean we have schools that do that, right? So
yeah.
All right, so we'll start. Well, let's do it the other way. Bear with me. No, I like it as it is. All right, so we will start with the running ribs of UNLV. So Dan Mullen last year, year one, won 10 games. Put together a pretty good roster in the offseason, and probably they're the betting favorite. They're not odds on, but they are the betting favorite to win the conference this year. And those of you keeping score at home are aware that Jackson Arnold, Oklahoma and Auburn quarterback, is going to assume the helm for Dan Mullen. So a lot of high expectations for this team. Win total sits at 7.5. Some games of note, they do play at Hawaii in their opener or their second game. I don't have the schedule up in front of me.
That's
they play
week one. They open. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I thought so. So they open at Hawaii, and that's just tough to play there because of the travel, and two, this Hawaii team's not bad this year. Then they have to play North Dakota State. That game is in Las Vegas. Then they have to travel to Air Force and to New Mexico. So 3 of their 4 projected toughest games are on the road. And some people think that New Mexico game on November 14th could be determines who hosts the Mountain West Conference Championship because they're 1 seed hosts. So, guys, what's Dan Mullen going to do coming off of 10 wins last year with 7.5 on the board?
Who's first? I'll go first.
You go.
You mentioned it. I'll say this. I think when you're Dan Mullen, it was a great portal pickup by going to get Jackson Arnold. When you're at these lower level schools, when you can get a former highly regarded, highly ranked, highly touted former 5-star quarterback, I think certainly you take the chance in that. And I think if you're Jackson Arnold, there's very few coaches out there in the country over the last probably 10 to 15 years that have been better for the most part in developing quarterbacks than Dan Mullen. I'm also kind of shocked that he returned to UNLV, especially with the craziness of the coaching carousel last year. There was a lot of power 4 jobs open. So I'm a little bit shocked that he did stay. But good on him because no Boise State in the league. You're in Las Vegas. It's the NIL world. He might be able to really build a program there at UNLV, and good for him because he's I know the Florida thing didn't work late, and he's kind of been out of the loop, but I still believe that Dan Mullen is a really good football coach, especially now because his downfall was he didn't like to recruit, and you don't have to recruit very much in this NIL world as far as like the old school recruiting ways.
It's changed a little bit.
It's fast, and it's the process of recruiting is not the same. So I think Jackson Arnold is one storyline. Can he break him out? Can he get Jackson Arnold to maybe not live up to the 5-star expectations, but can he be a really good group of 5 quarterback? We will see because he can run, and he's shown flashes of being a good passer, but he has to improve in that area. So we'll see if Dan Mullen can do that. Another interesting player is Jaden Thomas, their running back returning this year.
Yes.
1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns last year, averaged seven yards per carry. So, man, that's a good quarterback, running back punch. I believe they have a very experienced offensive line as well. So that will help. But I think clearly they have the most talent going into the year. That doesn't necessarily mean they'll win, and we'll dive into that and some of the other teams in this league. But I think UNLV is certainly expected to win the league. I think they will. And I think and they made 3 conference championships in a row, similar to what I mentioned, was it last week with Miami of Ohio? Obviously different coaches. Barry Odom, now Purdue head coach, was the head coach at UNLV before. Dan Mullen takes over. They've made 3 straight conference championships. So it's certainly a program that's having a lot of success, even with coaching changes. And so I don't expect anything different from UNLV this season.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, let's face it, living and going to school in Vegas, to me, is not a hard sell. So
no.
All right. Josh, any thoughts on UNLV? Oh, I'm sorry. Over or under,
Sure.
Drew? 7.5.
Let me see the schedule really fast. Give me 1 second. I'm guessing it'll be the over. But I always like to check the big non-con games if they have any. I mean, I guess toughest game would be Cal, which it looks like they play that at home.
Yeah.
So I think the Memphis Week 1 game will be interesting. I think we mentioned it how good
Memphis Week
in the American Conference. So 7.5. I'm definitely taking the over on that.
Okay. All right. Josh, thoughts on UNLV?
Yeah, like Drew was saying, mostly Dan Mullen, great coach. He has really good coaching history, coaching at Florida, Mississippi State, and I think getting Jackson Arnold in the transfer portal is a really good get for the running Rebs. And I'm interested to see how Dan Mullen can he turn Jackson Arnold into a pretty good quarterback, which we've seen before when he started out at the previous school before Auburn. He's been a decent quarterback when he has a pretty good offensive line. And like Drew was saying, they returned Thomas and Glover at the running back position. I'm interested to see how UNLV does this season. I think they're going to be at the top of the league. They added 32 guys from the portal. They lost 35. They returned a bunch of guys on both sides of the ball. 7.5, you said the win total is Hammer?
Correct.
I think I'm going to say they go about 9-3.
And I can give you odds. Who are we talking about? UNLV.
UNLV.
Yeah, at over 7.5, it is juiced pretty heavy at minus 174. If you think they can get to 9, it's not bad. It's plus 140.
Okay.
I think they can get over that. Hell, I'll throw this team in the mix and saying they could be the group of 6 representative in the college football playoff.
I think talent-wise, they could. And think it all hinges on, as Josh alluded to, because we've seen Jackson Arnold look pretty bad.
Yeah.
At both Oklahoma and Auburn. So what Dan Mullen is able to do with him will be the determining factor with this season. His play, not to put everything on him, but a lot of it falls on him. And then, Drew, to circle back with a point that you made, he was a big-time recruit coming out, 5-star. Everybody had this expectation of him, and he just didn't live up to it for whatever reason. So he leaves Oklahoma, goes to Auburn, and didn't really do much better there.
Mm-mm.
So, the old saying, third time's a charm. Well, he's a bigger fish in a smaller pond now. So maybe he just wasn't built for that SEC level competition, because not everybody is.
Yeah. And
we've seen guys leave and go elsewhere and thrive and be really good. So maybe this is the best thing for him to finish out his career, to get with a coach that's known for creative offense, developing quarterbacks. And this is a fun team to watch. I don't know if y'all are familiar with or watched any of their games. This team is a lot of fun. And that Memphis game I think is going to be extremely entertaining. It's one of the ones I'm looking the most forward to seeing.
Yeah.
And we could see a ton of points. There's also a path where we don't see a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because we got breaking in 2 new quarterbacks, and a new coach in Memphis.
Yeah.
So it's still going to be a fun game to watch. Maybe look a little different than what we thought, but it's still going to be cool with these 2 teams going at it. Drew, I'm sorry. I didn't.
No, you're good. I was just going to say, if you're a quarterback, it's a lot different than having Hugh Freeze be your quarterback coach and play caller to Dan.
Yes.
So maybe it was just Hugh Freeze being a bad coach that he is, and didn't really help Jackson Arnold out too much. So that was all I was going to say. It's a little bit different level when you play for Dan Mullen compared to Hugh Freeze.
Yeah, I want to reiterate, like I was saying about Arnold, it all depends on if he has a really good offensive line. If he has a good offensive line, I think they have a great season. But if they have a shitty offensive line, it could be a disaster season.
Yeah, they did bring a couple Power 4 transfers into the offensive line. Jackson Brown, who I guess he's done singing. He's going to play football now. Offensive tackle from Pitt, and then they got Colton Thomason from Baylor. He's I think an interior lineman. So they addressed that. So hopefully give him a little time. I mean, I don't dislike the kid. I got no reason to. So
Same.
Hopefully he does well. I love this team over that 7.5. I think 8. If you're going to give me 7.5, I think 8 is definitely more likely than 7. Even if they lose at Hawaii to North Dakota State, at Air Force, at New Mexico, or they lose to Cal and 3 of these 4, they still got a path to 8 wins.
Yep.
I don't see them losing 3 of these 4.
Me either.
So
yeah.
All right, so we're all on the over 7.5.
Yeah.
Correct.
For UNLV. All right. Next team on my list is New Mexico. Last year, same thing. First year coach. Year 1, 9 wins. Win total this year is 7.5. And just a fun little fact, since Drew loves these that I pull out of the Netherverse. New Mexico has the highest percentage of returning production in the conference. Over 60% of their rosters coming back, including their quarterback, although he is coming back from an injury towards the end of the season, Jack Lane. And they have a transfer from Oregon, Luke Moga, I think is how it's pronounced.
Yep, Moga.
So I haven't dug into the quarterback competition, but apparently there is one. So we'll see who comes out of that. But I think if Jack Lane's healthy and the elbow doesn't give him any issue, I don't see how he's not the starter. They got some pretty significant transfers as well. They actually stole a wide receiver from UNLV, so Troy O'Meara. And then they got a running back out of Memphis, Cameron Matthews. also stole another running back from North Texas in that mass exodus. So they've got a pretty tough schedule. They're at Oklahoma. They're at Hawaii. They host North Dakota State. They host UNLV. They host Air Force. So some of their toughest games are going to be at home. So 7.5. You guys have any thoughts on them or not? Just give me an over or under 7.5 wins.
Yeah, I'm going over on New Mexico 7.5. I like this team, and I was on him a lot last year during the season. Jason Eck, I think he's a pretty good coach, and
pretty good coach. He turned out to really be good
for sure. And I'm going to make a bold prediction. If Luke Fickell ends up getting fired, I think Jason Eck ends up taking that Wisconsin job with saying he did go to Wisconsin and he did play there. But story for another time. I think they get over that 7.5 win total.
Okay. Drew, thoughts on New Mexico or a prediction on their win total? 7.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take the over. I saw in Athlon's preseason All Mountain West team, they had 17 players on the preseason All Conference. They had 7 on first team, and they brought back Jackson Eck, who is a great linebacker. He had 128 total tackles last year, 65 solo tackles, 1.5 sacks. So really, really productive, really good linebacker, obviously. And he's also the Mountain West preseason Defensive Player of the Year. So I think they'll be good. They have a tough schedule. They have some games that I think are kind of you could pencil in that they're going to lose. But I think with some of the games, some of the lower level teams will play in the league. And then they also play a school by the name of Mercyhurst. What is that? So I think they'll win that game.
Yeah.
So good. I have
pretty
confidence
good
that get over 7.5 wins.
Yeah, I look at the schedule. I think at Oklahoma. I mean, come on, we can't expect that. Then
you never know.
You never know. It's not going to happen. But 3 of their 4 toughest games in the conference are at home, so they at least have that going for them. If they can win 3 of those 5, I think they get to 8 wins easily, maybe 9. Depends on just depends on how these other teams look. So one other guy I want to mention from a small school, Hampton, is Will Hicks. Old boy had 72 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, and 4 passes defended from the safety position last year. So this guy's got a high motor. He's got a nose for the ball. So somebody just to keep an eye on if you watch this team that could be that could make an impact for them coming from little old Hampton.
Will Hicks.
So I take the over 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to touch on New Mexico for a few things. So I think we'll get to them in a minute. Air Force. I think that last game between Air Force could be who hosts the Mountain West Conference Championship game, and I did end up betting New Mexico to make the playoffs. I think this team has a really good shot being the group of 6 representative in the playoffs for sure.
So you think this team's better than UNLV?
Yeah, I do. I do think they are.
Okay, so you've got them winning the conference.
Yeah. And making the playoffs at 25-1, I think it is.
Okay. I like this New Mexico. I bit my tongue eating lunch today.
Right.
So,
okay.
So I got a little bit of that going on. So if I sound like I'm having a stroke or something, I could be.
You're good.
But probably not. Just check on me every now and again.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm responsive. All right.
And
so Josh is big on New Mexico.
But
so
cause for concern. Yeah, cause for concern though. I saw on reports we don't know if Jackson Lane's going to start that first game against Central Michigan or not.
Yeah, because he's still dealing with the recovery from that elbow.
Yes.
All right. Sorry. All right. Next up, and I threw them in here early because I do want to talk about them a little bit. That's North Dakota State. Now, they are an absolute powerhouse in FCS. We all know the Bison, the environment. Those fans are fantastic. The environment's great. Just a fun team. Kind of must-see TV when they're playing. Their win total is 9.5.
It's a big number.
Some books may have this at 8.5. I got it at 9.5. I bet the shit out of the under. Yeah. I do not see them coming in and going 10-2. I think they can go 8-4.
Yeah.
With a break, they might be able to pull off 9-3, but they're not winning 10 games. I'm about to tell you why. First of all, this is not quite the same roster we're used to seeing. Cole Payton, quarterback, Bryce Lane, wide receiver, bye. They got poached by Power 4. Then they lost pretty much everybody in the linebacker room. Their transfers were a Cornell linebacker. No offense to Mr. Keith Williams, but you played at Cornell last year. And they had a couple other corners that they brought in. Here's the real story for me with North Dakota State. They play at Air Force. They play at UNLV. They play at New Mexico.
At Hawaii.
And they play at Hawaii.
Yep.
Those are, minus North Dakota State, those are the 4 highest win totals in this conference.
Yeah.
I am absolute. I'm going to give you another one, Drew. It's free tonight. Hammerlock, North Dakota State under 9.5. Bet this a couple, 2 or 3 weeks ago. I just do not see a path to win to 10 wins for this team. Drew, what are your thoughts on the Bison? 9.5.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like I would not be picking them to win at least 10 games. That's a lot. And I know they've played some FBS schools in the past, and they have actually won a decent margin. But this is a little bit different when you got to do it on a week in, week out basis. Obviously, you said their quarterback left. Well, their starting quarterback or expected starting quarterback is going to be a senior, and he's barely played. Last year, he threw 44 attempts, completed 25 of them, 56.8 completion percentage, 381 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. And then their expected lead back, DJ Scott, who played at Kennesaw State for 2 years, didn't play much there, and then transferred last year. He had 95 carries, 502 yards, and 6 touchdowns. So I just don't see it. And then when you mention their schedule, it's just going to be really hard. I know.
Yeah, I don't know who they pissed off in the league office to get this, but
yeah,
that's rough. I could see them losing all 4 of those games with a new quarterback. They went 12-0 last year.
Certainly,
not happening.
Different ball game this year.
In that Jacksonville State game, week 0 won't be no pushover.
No, it won't. In fact, we already talked about Jacksonville State. Yes, we did. I've got them covering plus 5.5. I think they could win that game.
Yeah.
So, this is not going to be the dominant team that we are accustomed to seeing. They're in the Missouri Valley, I think, in the conference they play in or played in.
Yeah.
Yeah, this ain't that.
Yes.
So, Josh, 9.5, you're under?
Yeah, I really don't have no notes on them. I'm going to go under. I got them going 8-4, maybe 7-5. So under.
I think 8-4 it could be expected. They may win one of these, but if Jacksonville State gets them, then it's absolutely an under.
Then it's certainly under.
Yeah, I do not see them surviving that schedule. All right, the aforementioned Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, they are sitting at 7.5. Josh, a play or a lean on this, or anything with Hawaii you want to point out?
Let me look at the schedule.
What is it again, Hammer?
7.5.
7.5. While Josh is looking that up, talk to me about Hawaii.
Yeah, I love Micah Alahado, their quarterback.
Love him.
He's a really good player, really fun to watch. Only 5'10", 180 pounds, but he's out there slinging that thing, and he can run it a good bit too. He's a very, very fun player. He's a guy that I'm surprised did not enter the transfer portal, and he's from Las Vegas, Nevada. So, like, how did UNLV not get him and got Jackson Arnold? You know, there's something called tampering out there. You know, they could have used some of that. But but he's a really fun player. Last year, you know, 285 for 430 completions and attempts, 66.3 completion percentage, 3,106 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, ran for 105 yards as well, 1 touchdown. He's a very fun quarterback to watch, and I think a lot of people have high expectations for Hawaii this year because of him. I mentioned it last week, but when you're a smaller level school and you have a really good football player and a really fun football player, it can help you win like 3 games at that mid-major level because you have a player that's a little bit above the average margin of the rest of the league. The same way in the Power 5, when you have a Heisman Trophy winning type quarterback or an elite level running back, your team is that much better because you have players that are better than the average person in really every facet. And I think Micah Alahado is one of those guys in the Mountain West Conference this year. So really, really fun. And at 7.5, now they play at Arizona State, so that's going to be a guaranteed loss. They also play at Stanford to open up. That's one where it obviously seems like a guaranteed loss, but is Stanford supposed to be that good? I don't really know. Right? We talked about them last week. Like, there's not much juice there. Could Hawaii go in there week 1 and get a win? I'm not saying that, but we've seen crazier things. And if Alahado has a great game against Stanford's defense and Hawaii hangs around, you never know what can happen. So outside of that, they play UNLV at home, like you've mentioned. I'm going to take the over. I think they win over 7.5 games because the really only guaranteed loss that I see is Arizona State. Outside of that, they can win some games. Their home field advantage is a little bit different than everybody else's home field advantage because of the travel.
So
I like them going over 7.5.
Okay. And I'm sorry I misspoke because I'm old and don't have – not that I have reading glasses, but if I did, I don't have them on. That game is 5.5, the spread. I have Hawaii plus 5.5. Jacksonville State was 6.5, now 7. So, sorry, my apologies. Old man eyes here failed.
So the betting people think that Hawaii's got a legitimate shot to take down Stanford week 1.
I think anything under a touchdown when you have a group of 6 playing a Power 4, that's fishy to me.
Yeah.
And sometimes I will even throw a little bit of wild cherry Pepsi money on an outright upset.
Yeah.
So, North Dakota State's priced as they probably should be against Jacksonville State at a touchdown.
Yeah.
So, and clearly some money has come in on North Dakota State to bump that up from 6.5 now to 7 for live odds. So, but that's a better line. Like if you really think that team's going to win, that's where you set that line. Not 4.5, not 5.5, because that tells me, they're trying to bake money for the favorite. I know your tricks. All right, Josh, Hawaii over under.
Over 7.5.
You're going over 7.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I do want to mention that game that they played in that bowl game against Cal last year. That was electric on Christmas Eve. Just back-to-back duel between Michael Alejado and JKS. That was a hell of a game.
Yeah.
I was on the over in that game.
And it's a shame that Alejado got hurt last year. Mid-season was out a few games because, man, he was so fun to watch. And, like, these games come on at, like, for East Coast, I think it's like midnight before these games even kick off.
Yeah.
But, man, I would stay up and watch. I would stay up and watch their games because they were so much fun.
Me too.
He was eighth last year. He was
What's
eighth.
that?
I said he was eighth nationally in passing yards per game last year. So
yeah. Timmy Chang, man, he is not afraid to put the ball in the air.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
They throw that joker all over the field. So even when they suck, they're still fun to watch.
Yeah.
So I as well over. I think it's dead on the number though. I think it's 8. So if anything happens to the quarterback this year, one of two things will happen. Either he'll get hurt and Hawaii will plummet, or he'll win Offensive Player of the Year in the Mountain West. That's how good this kid is. Yeah. I love his game. I'm big time on the over, but over at 8. They also travel to Northern Illinois and UTEP for what that's worth.
Yeah.
All right, next we're going to talk about Air Force. Their win total is 6.5. Air Force, boys.
Guess I'll start. Yeah. So Air Force coming off a kind of disappointing season last year, going 4-8 after an expected pretty good season last year, because I know a lot of people projected them to have a pretty decent season last year. Troy Calhoun coming in his 20th year at Air Force. They returned most of everybody. They returned their quarterback, Liam Cesarka. And I think Air Force boys this year, this is going to be my dark horse to win the conference, who also have a future on the win the Mountain West. I just think with the schedule they have, they're at Northern Illinois. They get North Dakota State at home. They get UNLV at home. They get San Jose State at home. And the only tricky game they got in conference is at New Mexico, last game. And like I said, I think that game could be who hosts the Mountain West Conference Championship game. So I would lean over on Air Force on their win total.
All right, Drew, what are your thoughts on the Falcons?
What is it again?
6.5.
Oof. I'm not going to go as far to say what Joshy Boy did as far as them being sleepers or playing for the conference championship, but I do think they slightly get over that 6.5 win total. They're just a tough team to play against. They're talented. They're veteran. Obviously, the unique style that they play with, running the football all the time and the triple option and like all the other academy schools. So I don't think their schedule is too difficult. I think some of these teams, though, they're just better than. And like Josh Boy said, they play a lot of home games, especially against like UNLV and, North Dakota State. Getting those teams that they play at home is huge. But I have them winning like 8 games at the most. I would lean towards probably about 7 wins.
Okay. All right. So both you guys on the over. This is my second favorite bet for this conference. As Josh mentioned, Zarka is back, and he will be healthy. Mm-hmm. And this team was in miles better with him on the field. They got their best back. He's actually a fullback, but this triple option stuff they run, who knows? And they also have 3 starters back on the offensive line from last year. So, and that's important because the service academies can't go out and spend a bunch of money on transfers, right? So the more players they get back, the more continuity they have, the harder they're going to be to deal with.
Can they lose players to the portal though?
Army lost some, Navy lost some, and I'm sure I don't have a list of who left.
Yeah.
What's the ruling to get out of that?
I don't know that. I think you're committed to
have to go back and serve your time. Or?
Yeah, you're committed to that service no matter what you do. So, but the schedule sets up pretty nice. All of their toughest games are at home, save the New Mexico game. They do play at Army. They host Navy. That always rotates. And those games are always coin flips.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say they split. I think Navy beats them. I think they win at Army. That UConn game could be tricky, even though it's at home. But this is one of those teams that unless you see them consistently, they are very difficult to play against and prepare for. Inky Johnson got injured in the Air Force game in 2006, I think it was. I was there at that game, and that game came down to Tennessee stopping them on a 2-point conversion in overtime to beat them. So they're sneaky tough to prepare for.
Because you never see that stuff. Unless you play one of those teams, you never see.
That's it. You never see that offense. Yeah. And it's not just the offense, it's how they execute it.
Yeah.
Because these guys are so disciplined at these service academies. You know, that they have very few penalties. You don't see a whole lot of dumb mistakes. Sure, they have things that don't go their way, but they can pretty much line up and run on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
I think it's an over. I think it's a big time over. And I also bet them at plus 600 to win the conference. I think if they can get there, I would not bet against them. I think legitimately they could make a run at the conference. So yeah, I'm big on Air Force.
Let's go.
8-9 wins is in the cards. It's on the table for them. If they don't get bit by the injury bug this year,
stay healthy,
they can definitely make some noise. All right, so we're all over. Josh and I have them as a long shot. It's not my pick to win the conference. Let me just throw that out there. They're not my pick, but I am betting them because of the value. What's that?
Yes. I said, could you see them maybe winning 10 wins, Hammer?
Nope.
10 games?
Nope.
9 wins at best.
9's the ceiling for me. Yeah, okay. They would have to do something extremely dynamic and kind of superhuman to get to double-digit wins. So, all right. So the next one, I do have a best bet on this, but I don't really have a whole lot of input on it. That's going to be the Wyoming Cowboys, the Fighting Josh Allens. Their win total sits at 5.5, and this may be the team that looks the most different from last year because they absolutely flipped everything upside down. Excuse me. And they went out and got the offensive coordinator from Buffalo, Christian Taylor, and he brought his quarterback, Tyler Hughes, with him. This kid had a 20 touchdown to 3 interception ratio last year. So he takes care of the football, and he's athletic. That team can't be any worse than it was last year. The offense was god-awful. They don't even have to be good. They just have to not suck. Just be competitive. And I think they sail over this number. Not 8 wins, but they get more than 5.5. Their toughest games are Hawaii at North Dakota State, at UNLV. If you want to say at Colorado State is a hard game, I don't know. They're not going to have any problems with that altitude. And they do have to host New Mexico. So 7-5, I think, is probably their ceiling. they're going to get 6. They're going to get 6 wins. Just the upgrades they made in their roster. They're going to get 6. So, what you boys think about Wyoming? 5.5 is the number.
Go ahead, Drew.
I think they can go over. I think they can go over.
Josh?
I don't feel
sorry,
like –
Drew.
No, I was just going to say I don't feel like deep diving into Wyoming, but I think they can go over.
Yeah, because if you look at Northern Iowa, Central Michigan, Northern Illinois, Texas El Paso, those are wins.
Mm-hmm.
I think UConn's a coin flip game. I think at Colorado State could be a little sneaky, but I think they can get that one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They just need one more win out of somebody in there.
Yeah.
So I definitely think 6 is doable.
Yeah, and we know how these smaller leagues are. Like if you win games early and you gain confidence, your season's completely changed because at this level, for some of these teams, as we've mentioned, UNLV and I guess New Mexico, like there's not a huge talent advantage. And so like if Wyoming just starts the year good and they start maybe 3-0, and then they go at Central Michigan, and if they can win that game and they're 3-0 playing Hawaii and they could win that, their season's completely changed and they have confidence, their team's playing well. So the smaller league, it's really just who can play well, who can gain confidence, and then who can sustain that going throughout the schedule. So I don't see why Wyoming can't win, or go over their win total.
Yeah, their defense was really good. They only allowed about 20 points a game last year, but the offense couldn't score 20 points a game.
Yeah,
it was terrible. Yeah. So I think it's automatic upgrade just by changing the coordinator, a quarterback that is been with him in his system, and that kind of continuity. I mean, it matters. So defense holds serve, and they just get a little bit better offensively. They'll get this. Mm-hmm. So, Josh, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, Hammer, I'm going to reiterate off what you said. Like, they bring in their quarterback and offensive coordinator from – where'd they come from?
You tell me.
Is it an Ivy League school?
Buffalo,
yeah. They brought in their quarterback OC from Buffalo. And they upgraded their left guard and their center from the transfer portal, so that's big. Looking at the schedule, I see right at 7 wins on the schedule, so I'll lean over.
Yeah, I think 7 is doable with, if they start hot, like Drew said, build some confidence. Yeah. The defense can just be good like they were last year. Mm-hmm. This offense won't have to be world beaters. So definitely 6, possibly 7 if things go their way.
Yeah. If they win those first 4 games, I definitely think they get that over.
All right. Very good. Next one.
They just got to get a 50-50 game, like you said, Hammer, like that Connecticut game or the New Mexico game at home.
Yep. Get one of those coin flip games and
I'm done rambling.
No, you're good. All right. Next, we've got Nevada. Yes, I said Nevada. That's how it's pronounced, damn it. Their win total sits at 4.5. Josh, thoughts on Nevada? Over or under 4.5?
Yeah, Nevada. Let's see. Let's get to them. Yeah, so they added 3 out of 15 guys in the transfer portal. They lost 21 guys in the transfer portal, Hammer. They bring back 3 from the offense side of the ball. They bring back 3 on the defense side of the ball. So if I had to make a lean, I'm looking at the schedule, I would lean under on Nevada. Nevada, they haven't done anything since the Colin Kaepernick days. That's what I think.
All right, so you're under 4.5.
Yep. 4.5.
All right. Drew, any take or thought on Nevada and 4.5 wins?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I will take the under on Nevada.
Yep. I didn't bet it, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. They've got a brutal schedule.
Yeah.
They go to North Dakota State. They go to UCLA. They have to play New Mexico and Hawaii, and they have to go to UNLV.
And they play Montana State,
and they play Montana State.
Yeah, they're the new North Dakota State of the FC.
They really are.
That won't be no pushover.
So I mean, if you think, hell, even the volleyball player is going to beat them. So there's 5 right there.
There's my one. There's one of my for my UCLA making the bowl game right there.
Yeah,
so Nico, I'm never going to leave you.
There's 5. Montana State, I think, is 6. Air Force, pretty sure 7.
Yeah,
that means they got to either win over Western Kentucky, at MTSU, Middle Tennessee State, for those of you that aren't from Tennessee, and at Texas El Paso.
Yep.
I don't think they're going to win all 3 of those. So the math ain't mathing for me to get them to 5. It's an under.
Their final 2 games are going to be tough too. Hawaii at home and at UNLV. So
yeah,
that's not going to be.
That's not a fun way to close the season.
No.
Yeah.
All right. So next, they still have a football team, San Jose State. Their win total,
somewhat,
depending on where you get it, is 4.5 to 5.5. Let's, for sake of argument, 5.5. Let me see what it is on DK, just real quick. Who are we looking at? Oh, yeah, San Jose State.
San Jose.
4.5 is minus 130. Over 4.5 is minus 130. Over 5.5 is plus 150. So let's use 4.5 for our baseline here, because that's minus 130. Drew with San Jose State, 4.5 for this team. Would you go over or under? Keep in mind, they play 13 games.
How's that work?
They picked up an extra game.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, they're going to be 0-1. That's for sure.
Yeah.
They start the year with on the road at USC. Four and a half, you said?
Yeah, that's the 4.5 is minus 130.
Okay, I'm going to take
wish
the.
I got it at 5.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take the over though, because I was when I was kind of doing my prep work, there was a lot of talk about their offense, and I didn't really deep dive into it that much, but it just popped in my head when I'm looking at their logo. Sold me on a really talented wide receiver room. They were 8th nationally in passing offense last year. So, and I guess there's a lot of conversation about their offense. I wish I would have deep dove into it more, but I thought for the sake of the show, I didn't know we'd be making it this far down in terms of breaking down teams the way we did in the top of the.
We ain't necessarily breaking them down. I'm just asking if you got to play, if you're going to bet them or you got a strong take on it, we talk about it. If not, give me an over or under.
Yeah, I'm going to take the over, and it's because of what I was reading about their offense. So I'm going to buy into the belief in the standpoint of what they were selling me on their offense and their wide receiver room, and I think they can get 4.5.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I double checked because I wanted to say this, but I wasn't 100% sure because I know they play week 0, and yes, that is it. They added week 0 to their schedule after their schedule was already set. So that's why they have the extra game. It's a loss, but still.
Yep.
All right, Josh, 4.5, San Jose State. You got anything on them?
Under. I think they just win 3 games.
That's kind of where I'm with it, too.
Cal Poly, UTEP, in Northern Illinois.
Yeah. I don't know if USC covers against them because I think they're going to be up so much that they may – I mean, they may have the third string in there by the time this game gets in the third quarter. So I haven't made that official yet, those of you that will be listening to the betting show. But that's my lean. But they're going to get the hell beat out of them.
Mm-hmm.
At Hawaii, at Air Force, they play the other big boys in the conference. I don't see it. I'm not crazy about the 4.5. I love the 5.5. I wish I'd have got it. I just didn't. 3 or 4. I think this is not going to be a good team.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of not good teams, they still playing football in Northern Illinois?
I believe so. And now they're out.
Yep.
Yeah, their number is 3.5. Josh, where are you at with Northern Illinois?
I just don't think this is going to be a good team this year. I'd lean under. Don't see them win 4 games.
Okay. 3.5 is pretty low, but Drew, what do you think, Northern Illinois?
Yeah. Am I wrong? Didn't their head coach, what was it, Thomas Hammock, didn't he leave to take like a job with the Seahawks? Was that last year or this year?
Yeah, he left. I can't remember when he left, but he left very late and put them in a tough spot coming out of
that was this past offseason, right?
I want to say
because they left they left the MAC to come to the Mountain West when the spots opened up, and he threw the deuces and he's gone. So
was it the same guy who beat Notre Dame a season ago? 2 seasons ago?
Yes, it was.
Thomas Hammock. Right?
Thomas Hammock was their coach.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm going to take the under, but I just I thought that was a little interesting. I'm going to take the under.
Yeah. They only have 5 home games. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to their schedule.
Oh, wow.
Probably not because they suck. They only get 5 home games. And listen to who they have to play on the road. Iowa, Arizona, Air Force. Oh, no, Air Force is at home. Sorry. UNLV and North Dakota State.
Yeah.
Loss. Air Force in Hawaii at home. Doesn't matter. You can play it on the moon. Loss. They don't win more than 3 games. There ain't no way. This team is in complete disarray. I feel bad for these kids because they make that jump. And, oh, by the way, I'm leaving, boys. Good luck.
The old Bruce Pearl method right there.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Texas El Paso. Their win total sitting at 3.5 also. What are your boys' thoughts on UTEP? Drew, 3.5. Pretty low.
Yeah. Well, they got to go at Oklahoma and at Michigan in the 2 of the first 3 weeks. Like, that's
yeah. Good luck.
That's not a good recipe to like set yourself up to try to even have a decent year. So I'm just going to take the under because of those games. I mean, that can test you a lot as a football team and a lot as a man. And I guess just like how strong you are, if your body can hold up for these UTEP players. So I'm going to take the under. I think that's just a tough way to start the year. And then you lose confidence, you lose vibes. Hell, you might lose players due to injury, and you could lose a lot of them in those kinds of games. So I'm going to take the under.
Okay. Josh, UTEP, 3.5.
Yeah, I'm with Drew. I take the under. They bring in 7 transfers on the offensive side of the ball and 4 on the defense side of the ball, especially their quarterback. He's a transfer, and I just don't see them doing anything this season. And like Drew mentioned, they start with Oklahoma and Michigan in the first 3 weeks. Yeah, good luck under UTEP.
Yeah, they've got 3 pretty good transfers. E.J. Colson's the quarterback you're talking about from Incarnate Word. And they got Tavares Jones from Missouri at running back. But one thing I thought was interesting and almost kind of an omen or a foreshadowing is they got a wide receiver from Northern Colorado named Carver Cheeks, which is appropriate because that's what this team is.
Yeah.
At Oklahoma, at Michigan, at New Mexico, at North Dakota State, at Air Force, and they have to play Oregon State.
Yeah.
At home. Y'all going to be lucky to win 2.
Yeah. Hey, I'll say this about Tavares Jones because I remember when he committed to Missouri, he was a big time recruit from the state of Texas. And, I mean, Missouri's had some really good running backs, so he fell under the crack, but maybe he can have a decent year. I believe this will be his last year or I guess now with the 5 for 5, he might have 2 years left.
Dude, we can't say anybody's last year with all the crap that's going on.
Yeah, so he's been at Mizzou for I think 3 years, so he should have 2 more. But he was a really highly touted kid, so I guess if he could be what he was supposed to be coming out of high school, I guess they could win, a couple football games.
Yeah, I mean, the offense really not the issue. For me, it's the schedule.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely brutal. And I seriously think 3 is their ceiling. I really believe 3 games is their ceiling.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the schedule. It's the whole thing was just in disarray in the spring. So, and by the way, they also have the hardest schedule in conference. So right. That is the Mountain West. So give me who you legitimately think wins this conference championship game, conference winner, whatever, however you want to call it. Joshy Boy, we'll start with you.
I got New Mexico over Air Force.
Okay. All right, Drew, who you got?
Yeah, I mean, mine's pretty self-explanatory, I guess. I got UNLV over New Mexico. I think this league is really, to me, as far as competing for a championship, I think those are the only 2 teams that I believe can make it there. And I think UNLV is better than New Mexico. So I think this conference is pretty chalky, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. It's got some good teams, and it'll be competitive.
Yeah.
But I really think there's only about 3 teams that have a shot.
Yeah.
And a lot of things would have to happen. I am with you. Wait, you said UNLV over who?
New Mexico.
Okay, well, I'm not with you. I am with you on UNLV, but I think it's Air Force that gets there. So that's why the plus 600 bet for me makes sense because I think they can get there. And once you get there, you never know.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be Dan Mullen's year to win this conference, and I think it's going to be that springboard that maybe gets him back into the Power 4 ranks. So
could be.
All right.
Which would be good for the sport.
All right, so let's bounce over to the
Pac-12.
Absolutely revamped Pac-12.
The Pac-7 or Pac-8 now.
Yeah. Well, the Big Ten's got like 16 teams, so them fuckers can't count either.
Yeah.
I'm going to spoil this whole thing for everybody. There's only 2 teams that can win this conference.
Correct.
Okay.
So if y'all don't mind, we're going to pass by Colorado State, Texas State, Utah State, Oregon State, Washington State, San Diego State.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Boise State.
Fresno's one of your teams.
Fresno State. Let's talk about these 2. Everybody else, who cares?
Exactly.
Yeah. Fuck them.
Boise is still the team. They are still, in my mind, they are still the group of 5/6 team that you have to beat. They're the Ric Flair of the junior circuit.
Yes.
If you want to beat them, you got to beat them. And I think that's the same
You got to
thing
beat
here.
the man.
They won their 3rd straight Mountain West Conference last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And they've got a pretty solid roster. Maddox Madsen's back at quarterback, and it's just loaded with returning talent.
Yeah.
And what little talent they did bring in the portal, they attacked places that they had areas to improve. They did bring a lot of kids in from small schools. The only impact player that they brought in was a linebacker out of Kansas. But all those dudes can step right in and play. Now, obviously, the game at Oregon, there's no way I'm going to sit here and tell you that they win that game.
Oregon
Absolutely
covered.
no way. That's clearly going to be a loss for them.
Hey, they almost did a couple years ago, though. That was crazy. That was the coming out of
True.
Ashton Jeanty.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was a crazy game. They almost pulled it off.
And I like Maddox Madsen,
Yeah.
but he ain't doing it at Oregon.
No.
That defense is too good.
They got a
Now
really
get-
good running back. We'll get into him, but there's no Ashton Jeanty back there.
That is correct. So So that Lee, take that game out of the equation. We know that's a loss. So now all they got to do is go 9-2 against everybody else, right? Because
For
8.5
sure.
number, they only need to get to 9.
And I would say the only other game that really possesses a threat, as long as they don't completely mess up, is week 2 against Memphis.
Bingo.
So
That's the only other game I see. I look at and go, but they're breaking in a new everything, new quarterback, new coach, new scheme, new system, new everything. So I even like Boise in that game. So since I'm dumped all this out there, I'm going to throw mine in I think they go over 8.5. That is my absolute hammerlock best bet for the Pac-12. Boise is going to get 9 wins with this schedule.
easily. And I'll say this because they're my 2 favorites going into the year. I picked them to win the American in Memphis, and I'm picking Boise State to win the Pac-12. Both of these teams have interesting starts to the year. So Memphis starts at UNLV, and then they play rival, which is one of their rivals, Arkansas State, at home, and then they play Boise State. So both teams are going to be with a fast start out of the gate. Boise State plays Oregon week 1. And then they play Memphis week 2. I guess Memphis plays week 0. That's a week 0 game against UNLV.
They do.
So those 2 teams, we're going to find out a lot about them week 1. We'll get to see Memphis week 0 and week 1. And then but that game week 2 is probably going to determine who is in the driver's seat to make the college football playoff as their group of 6 representative.
Very well could. Because Memphis they've knocked on the door the past couple seasons. And I know Silverfield left.
Yeah.
But
and he really underperformed.
I think he did too.
Yeah.
I actually thought Memphis had a shot, and they just couldn't pull it off. But they were a dadgum over total machine. Over first half, over game. They were a absolute wagon. I think it was there's only 2 games last year they didn't cover one or both of those numbers. Yeah. So I hope this offense can cook that way this year. I think it may take a little time to get it going.
With Memphis, you're saying?
Talking about Memphis, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
A few games under their belt. Yeah.
I think it'll get cranking. But, yeah. All right, Josh, Boise State.
Yeah, I really like this Boise State team this year. So they returned 7 on offense, all 7 starters. 7 on offense, 4 on defense. Maddox Madsen returns. Second year starting at Boise State. He threw for 2,000 yards last year, 58% completion rating, 18 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 136 RTG. I just think he is going to have a better season than last year. Bold prediction, he throws for 3,000 yards this year. And like Drew was saying, Dylan Riley, the running back, is back this year. Boise, 1,000 yards on the ground last year, 10 touchdowns. I love Boise this year to go over that 8.5 win total.
All right.
I got them winning. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I got them winning 11 games, 11-1.
So you think the only loss on their schedule is Oregon?
Oregon, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And that very well could be. I got them at 10-2.
For sure.
I think Fresno really is about the only one that can give them a problem unless they stub their toe for some reason against two of the legit Pac-12 teams in Washington State or Oregon State. But I really don't see it. I damn sure don't see 4 losses on that schedule. So
Yeah.
it is a hard over for me. 10, I think 10 is the floor for this team.
Yeah.
So leave me look. I want to see if we run that up on Boise. Oh, wow. It's plus 150.
Wow.
Duel. Over 8.5
Dang.
plus 150. I would play them over 9.5.
9.5.
I might sprinkle a little something on over 10.5. Wild.
Like it.
All right, so we're all over. Does everybody have Boise winning the conference?
I do, but I'll say this: I got them going 10-2, and I think they're going to stub their toe once, and I'm going to say it's against Washington State.
Yeah, that's mine too.
See, on the road.
It's Pullman's tough place to play.
Yeah, it's and their quarterback that they brought in, Caden Pinnick, transferred from UC Davis last year, threw for 32 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 3,200 yards, 70% completion percentage. So really good quarterback. I know Kirby Moore kind of, I don't want to say got ran out at Mizzou as the offensive coordinator, but I think fans are ready for something different. And I know this from watching a lot of Mizzou games. Obviously, I'm not a Missouri fan, but I have some ties to Missouri fans, and I watch a lot of Mizzou football. They can say what they want about his offensive play calling. He did a pretty damn good job calling the plays for Mizzou for the last 3 to 4 years, and they never really were able to develop a quarterback outside of Brady Cook. Now, is that his fault? Is that Eli Drinkwood's fault with recruiting? We could talk about that next week when talking about the SEC, but I think Washington State's a dangerous team. They've been very successful. I think they'll continue to be successful now that they don't have to act like a Power 5 school anymore. They can act like a really good Group of 5 school, or I'm sorry, Hammer, Group of 6 school. And I think this is one that I think they knock out. I think they lose to Oregon. I think they win outside of that. I think they lose this game, and I think they go on from there. So I'm going to take them going 10-2. So it'll be over their win total, and I have them winning the conference.
Okay. Same for me. I've got them winning. I did sprinkle a little bit on our next team, Fresno State, at plus 650 just because of the value and, quarterback goes down or running back goes down. That could, that could be the difference in that bet cashing or not. But I will say this about Washington State also. They have a really good offensive line that has played a lot of football and played a lot of football together.
Yep.
My God, their schedule's tough. Arizona, Kansas State, of course, Washington.
And the one thing about a Kirby Moore offense is they have always been able to run the football very good, and his offensive lines always play very good. They were really good at Missouri. So that transition to Washington State, certainly it's different when you're the offensive coordinator and now a first-time head coach. I'm sure he's talked about his with his brother about that, who's now the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. But I think Washington State, maybe in a couple years under Kirby Moore, could be up there near the top of this new Pac-8, and maybe they'll be competing for playoff spots in the near future, depending on certainly how he is as a head coach. But I think Washington State can be an interesting team in the Pac-12 this year.
Yeah, I think so too.
Schedule's not easy on them the first 2 weeks. They're at Washington, then at Kansas State.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, their schedule's brutal. That's the one reason I'm not so high on them. But I will say, if Penny gets into this offense and gets it flowing, Drew, to your point, they're going to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And with this offensive line, they're going to run the ball successfully. Really, a lot of their fate will depend on how well Pennick picks up this offense and can execute. So, yeah, I'm with you. I do like them down the road. It's just they're going to struggle this season just because of schedule. It's absolutely brutal.
The good thing is they have a couple manageable games leading into that Boise State game that
they do.
Because when if they had to play, let's just say Arizona and on the road at Kansas State and then Boise State, that makes it really tough. I mean, they have Oregon State the week before that and then at Utah State. But those two, I don't know if they'll win those games, but they're not going to be like the level of what they'll be playing with some of the Power 4 teams they'll be playing, and then certainly the type of team Boise State is. So they should be fresh and ready to play against Boise State.
Yeah, and the way that plays out, I mean, they could even rest some guys or somebody's a little nicked up or something. Maybe they hold them out so they're fully healthy for that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a big game when you're a first-year head coach. If you could pull off that game, get your team ready to go, it could be a massive program-type changing win, especially at the level of this new Pac-12.
Agreed. All right. So the other team that I think bears mentioning is going to be Fresno State.
Yeah.
Boise over 8.5 is my stone cold hammerlock. But if Boise wasn't there, this would be. Fresno State sits at 6.5. Josh, start with you. Thoughts on Fresno State? Or give me a over/under on 6.5.
Yeah, let me pull up my notes on Fresno real quick. Yeah, so Fresno, they returned 7 starters on offense, 6 on defense. They added 21 guys in the transfer portal, and they're bringing in their quarterback from the transfer portal, Christian Martin. I just think with this Fresno team, they're going to be pretty good this year. Mark Ince is in his second year at Fresno State, and like you fellas said, it's pretty much Boise State, Fresno State, everybody else kicked to the curb. I just think Fresno, the only tough game on their schedule is at USC, and they get Boise at home like you guys were saying, so that's a 50-50 game. I definitely have Fresno going over the 6.5 win total pass.
All right. Drew, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I agree.
Team?
I think they're going to be pretty good this year. I know there's some question marks around their quarterback play. Joshua Boy touched on that. So we'll see how that goes. But they have a really good running back in Rayshawn Luke. He was a 3-year player at Arizona, didn't really play much, transferred in last year, split time, was kind of a duo back, and had 112 carries, 702 yards, 6 touchdowns, also 36 receptions, 228 receiving yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns. So he did that, splitting a lot of time at running back this year. He's projected to be the lead unquestioned back. So if that's the case, and he put up those numbers last year, splitting time, I think he's in for a big time year. And I think Fresno State will go over the 6.5 because their schedule is not like that challenging if they're as good as we think they can be.
Yeah. No, I'm on the over also, and I'm really confident in it. Matt Ince was 9-4 last year. And they've got enough of their core coming back that I think that they're going to be able to get close to that again this year. They do have a quarterback competition going on.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever that gets settled, and whoever that gets settled on, I think they'll be fine. Yeah. It's never good to be unsettled at your quarterback position going into a season. I think whatever happens is going to be fine. They brought in 18 kids. So when you think about 105 or whatever it is man roster, You only bring in 15,
Yeah.
or excuse me, 18. That's pretty good core group. So the USC game, obviously, is their toughest game without question. But I don't even care about that. What I'm concerned is how they're going to do in the conference.
Yeah.
Their toughest game outside of USC is Boise State. But they play that game in Fresno.
Yep.
Not saying they're going to beat them. I'm just saying, chip in a chair, they got a shot. Who knows? Minimum, this team's going to win 8 games.
And Matt Entz is a pretty damn good football coach as well. So
yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Obviously, former North Dakota State head coach.
Yep.
He's won a lot of games.
He
won a
has.
lot of games.
He has. And, man, I'll be honest with you. Some of those teams in powerhouses in FCS could beat half the teams in this conference.
Yeah.
So I really like Fresno State this year. I think Boise's the class, but Fresno State at plus 650 is way too high in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get with my friend Christopher Gabriel. We're gonna talk about it because he's got some ends in the Fresno State program. So I'm gonna make sure I'm not talking out my ears on this, but plus 650. I mean, Boise's one injury away. Fresno State could step right in and take this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on that all day, and I'm on that a little bit heavier than I am even on Air Force.
Wow.
So Boise State wins the conference, Fresno State and Boise State both over on win totals, and I'm sprinkling a little heavier on Fresno State to win the conference. Just for shits and gigs, I also like Colorado State over 3.5. All right. Now the big boys. I suppose.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. What are your guys? I thought we all said we're betting Boise to win the conference.
We did.
Yeah, I like Boise over Fresno.
Okay. Yeah. That's the only scenario here is Boise and Fresno in the conference championship game.
Hammer, I don't know if you know this before we get to the Big 12. It depends on your sports book, but for Pac-12 win totals, the market will be settled based on the results of the first 11 scheduled regular season games played to conclusion. Any games played after the 11th regular season game will not be considered for settlement purposes.
Okay. I did notice it had in parentheses on mine 11 games, and I'm like, no, they're playing 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's weird.
Yeah. Folks, look into your book. I didn't catch that till I saw it earlier, but I didn't think to speak to it. I'm glad you brought that up. So, yeah, make sure whatever you're betting is you know what you're betting.
And the good folks at BetMGM, they do count the 12 games.
Well, there you go. That by default, BetMGM wins the battle because they're going to give you a fair shot.
Yep.
So good call out. All right, so Big 12. Obviously, the story of the offseason was the Brendan Sorsby disaster. We're not going to get into it. The trash took itself out on this one. So, justice served.
Yep.
How many teams in this conference do you legit think have a shot to win this thing?
Two.
I got 3.
And it might actually be 1, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. And it probably is.
Yeah.
Because as much as everybody wanted to make out of the Brendan Sorsby, dumpster fire, this team is massively loaded.
Yeah.
They are.
But 2 teams have to make the conference championship, and anything can happen in those games. So I guess 2 can win it. But it is Texas Tech versus the field.
Yeah, and
I'm
not going to deep dive too much in Texas Tech because I think it's going to take something catastrophic for them to not at least make the conference championship game.
Yeah.
But
sure.
I will say this. Their win total is sitting at 10.5.
Yeah.
I'm taking under.
Who are your 2 losses?
Not supposed to ask me hard questions. I didn't have the schedule ready. It's my fault.
No, you're good.
Damn it. Good God. What have I got to do? Get a schedule to pull up. Well, because they open against that powerhouse Abilene Christian.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have a little bit of trouble with Houston.
Same.
Willie Fritz.
Yep.
Even though that game is
at Texas Tech
in Lubbock.
Yep.
And
I think that Oklahoma State game could be sneaky.
Oklahoma State is definitely going to be better.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're just a really good quarterback and a really good running back.
Yeah.
I said better. They went 1-11 last year. They got to be better.
Surely
it all
better.
It all
TCU's
depends
the other
on
game that I kind of.
Yeah.
That's the other game I kind of got circled because it's the last game of the season. Yes, I know. Again, it's at home, but there's a lot about this the TCU team I like. Plus, that's a rivalry. So. I think everything kind of goes out the window. Now they could easily run the table, go 12-0. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah,
I just think there's too much swirl. And I don't know how this played out either, but they avoid BYU. They don't play Utah, and they don't play another team I'm pretty high on in Kansas State. And then Houston, Arizona State, Arizona, and TCU are all in Lubbock. So it's not crazy to say that they run the table and go 12-0. But they lost a ton of talent to the NFL. Yes, I know they got more money than some countries.
Yeah.
And they're replacing that NFL talent with more NFL talent. It's just the whole Sorsby thing, I think, has kind of disrupted the feng shui down there a little bit.
Don't you think it's good, though, that they waited a while, but don't you think it's good that they did it when they did it and didn't wait any longer so they could get past it?
Yeah, and when it looked like everything was going to just get smoothed over because they played a pretty strong hand in how they handled that, even though I was blasting them every second of the day. For their benefit inside, they really presented their argument well. I thought it was going to get swept under the rug.
Me too.
But apparently whatever happened, we'll probably never know. Mm-hmm. But you have to kind of speculate that the administration, being they, started feeling some heat, feeling some pressure. The outside noise was seeping in, and they realized what kind of terrible, the optics were on it. So I think they decided it was best just to cut bait. And, yes, it's very good they did it early instead of letting it drag out any longer than it did. So it at least gave them time to kind of shift and prepare.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the other thing. They're minus 200 to go over 10.5. I ain't laying that kind of juice.
Same thing like Notre Dame. They're minus 200 to go under 11.5.
Wait, to go under 11.5?
2 games a year.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you what I got because we haven't done Notre Dame yet. But
Gotcha.
under 10.5 is plus 160. It only takes one bad game on the road, or again, the whole if somebody gets hurt thing, which they're deep.
Yeah.
They're deep.
Yeah.
I ain't paying $2 on nothing. So I'm taking under 10.5 just more or less on principle.
No.
It's 11.5, you said?
No,
10
line's 10.5, but to get to 11, that means they got to get 11. And
it's hard to get
10.5 is minus 200. If you think they're going undefeated, you can get that plus 200.
Kind of like Indiana, their win total, they got to win 11 games.
Yeah, and that's a big ask. And I know teams do it every year. Teams go 12-0, 11-1. We see it all the time. I'm not betting it.
Yeah.
So I'm going with under just for that reason.
Yeah, me too. I think – I mean, look, we'll get into it. The Big 12 is not the most impressive league by any means, but I mean, there's still some good football teams. There's still some good football coaches in this league. I think at some point you're going to stub your toe and you're going to lose a game or two. It just is what it is. I don't think Texas Tech is that good to maneuver their way through an entire season going undefeated. Indiana did it last year. Obviously, Texas Tech was really good last year. And didn't they go undefeated last year in the regular season? Or did they lose? Texas Tech.
I think they did. Because weren't they the 3 seed?
Yeah, and
I'm
pretty.
Yeah, they lost to.
I'm pulling up right now.
Wait. They lost to Arizona State in the regular season. Arizona State got them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I was thinking they weren't undefeated. They were the number 3 seed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then Oregon got them. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think you stub your toe a little bit. And
it just takes one off game, one bad game, one game where everybody's been out partying or just not focused, not locked in, take a team for granted. There's so many things that can happen in college football.
Yeah. And I will say this, the loss at Arizona State, Sam Levitt didn't even play in that game when Texas Tech lost at Arizona State.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And I just to touch on TCU, I don't know if you guys remember when, well, Joshy Boy probably does. Drew, you may not so much, but when we thought Tennessee was going to grab a quarterback,
Josh Hoover,
out of the portal.
Yeah.
Josh Hoover was kind of choice A. I'm a big Josh Hoover fan.
Me too.
But the other kid that I wanted, and you go back and watch the HPS show, prove this, I was very high on Jaden Craig, who was the quarterback
from
at
Harvard.
That's who's TCU got to replace Josh Hoover. So they've got a absolute demonic schedule in November. They play at Arizona, they play Kansas State, they play Utah, they play at Texas Tech. Nobody has a tougher close to the season than TCU does. So if they can kind of build some wins early, navigate that stretch, who's to say they can't go into Lubbock and win?
And they also brought his buddy from Harvard, wide receiver Jeremy Scott, to TCU. James Craig.
Yeah. I love that dude. He's a baller, and people are gonna know this kid whether that time the season's over.
I watched his highlights.
So, their number 6.5. I'm easily over TCU, and if this offense clicks, I think they could be one of the two that gets Texas Tech, because that's where I'm at is 10.
Yeah.
So, all right, Josh, what's your over under play on Texas Tech?
Oh, Texas Tech first. Yeah. Sorry.
No, you over? Or
Yeah,
under?
glancing at their schedule, I'm gonna go 10-2, like you are. I'm going under on their 10.5.
Okay.
I got them losing at home against Houston, and I got them losing at Oklahoma State game.
All right. So let me ask you boys this. Drew, you think there's 2, maybe 3 teams that can win this conference? Correct?
I would say probably 2, in my opinion.
Okay.
I'm going to go with 2.
I'm going to go on out on a limb here and say Texas Tech's one of them.
Correct.
Who's your other one?
Well, they don't play each other, but it's BYU.
Okay. So if they were to play,
Mm-hmm.
it would only be in the conference championship game.
Correct.
So let's say those 2 teams are there. Tell me why BYU will, A, get to their win total, and can they beat Texas Tech in the conference championship game? 8.5 is their win total.
Well, I think Bear Bachmeyers obviously was a pretty good quarterback as a true freshman last year. Threw for over 3,000 yards, 65% completion percentage, 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. They also had the reigning Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year and their running back, which is LJ Martin, who's returning. Ran for 1,300 plus yards last year, 12 touchdowns, also 255 receiving yards. So when you bring back your starting quarterback, who was pretty good as a true freshman, you bring back your starting running back, who had a really good year and I think will be a senior this year, and you made it last year and you lost in the conference championship. I don't see another team in this league that got any better that could make the jump. And I don't think these 2 teams got any worse, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, substantially better by some of these teams. Sure, there will be record changes, and some teams will take leaps, some teams will take backwards. But I don't see a team that made enough leaps that I truly believe they could get to the conference championship. I think Houston will be a lot better. I'm a big fan of Willie Fritz. I don't see them winning enough games, which would probably be the Big 12 plays 9. They would have to win at the least amount 7 conference games to get in the Big 12 championship.
Correct.
So I think those are the only 2 teams, BYU and Texas Tech, and I will say Texas Tech wins the league.
Okay. Josh, how many teams do you think outside of Texas Tech? Because I think we all agree they're a heavy favorite. They're basically even money. They're plus 100.
Plus 100, yeah.
What team or teams do you think have a chance to at least get there and play against Texas Tech?
I got 2 realistic shots, and I got 1 really long shot. So, like Drew alluded to, BYU, obviously he touched on it really good. Their quarterback's back. Bear Bachmeyer passed for 3,000 yards. Their running back's back. Really good coach, Kalani Sitake. My second team who has a realistic shot of making the Big 12 championship game is Houston. Willie Fritz and Connor Wegman. And their schedule is really not too tough. Their only tough games at Texas Tech, at Utah. I think they got a really good shot of making the Big 12 championship game. My really big long shot is the West Virginia Mountaineers.
Oh.
Whoa. Yeah. I'll touch on it a little bit. So
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. I think West Virginia is going to have a pretty good season this year. I bet they're over 6.5 win total. They bring in 8 transfers on the offense side of the ball. Michael Hawkins at quarterback from Oklahoma. I think they're going to be pretty good this year. Their offensive line, they upgraded in the portal and brought a few guys back. They got Cam Cook from Jacksonville State. And I think the schedule is not too tough. They got most of the heavies at home. Arizona at home. They got Houston at home. And their only 2 tough games on the road are at Utah and at Texas Tech. So I took the long shot flyer on West Virginia to maybe make the Big 12 championship game. And they got a pretty good coach too, Rich Rodriguez.
So if West Virginia makes it, then Texas Tech ideally wouldn't make it.
I think they would still make it. Hammer, what do you think?
And I'll say this. I don't know if BYU loses a conference game. They might go 11-1 and their only loss is against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
That's what I've been the last 3 minutes. I mean, BYU's schedule is like easy.
It's very manageable.
Their only 2 tough games are at TCU and at Utah. Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, conference games. I mean, they play Notre Dame, but
conference games. Yeah.
So I think Texas Tech and BYU at the worst will be going into this game with 1 loss.
It's very possible. They could both be 10 plus win teams by the time we get to the first weekend in December. Another player I'm just going to call out because I was waiting for somebody to say it with BYU. They brought a linebacker over from Cal, Cade Ulave, made 97 tackles last year.
Solo?
For the Cal Bears. Yep.
Damn.
He is
a lot.
Literally all over the field. So I'm real high on this BYU team. I think their floor is 10 wins because I think they'll at least split TCU and Utah. They're not beating Notre Dame, guys. I know there may be some hype. They're not beating that defense. Notre Dame's defense, lights out.
Yeah,
I think they've got the Heisman winner at quarterback on their team, but that's me.
Yeah.
So
you think Bachmeier can win it? Or are you talking about CJ Carr?
I'm talking about CJ Carr.
CJ Carr.
Yeah. So I love Bachmeier, man. He is he's fun. That is a massive human.
And he wears number 47.
He looks like a fullback. Yeah. So if he just gets a little better throwing the ball, this team's going to be really tough. They only added 9 transfers. That's how good this team is.
Yeah.
9. And one of the 9 they got is an absolute tackling machine. Tackling fuel. So hammered 8.5.
Over 9.5.
Hammered over 8.5.
That's BYU's?
BYU.
Yeah, that's
hammered over 8.5.
What do you think about 9.5?
I just said they're gonna win 10.
Yeah, I think at the worst they win 2 games unless shit goes wrong.
I think that's the floor is 10.
Yeah. So plus 180 at 9.5 is a really good bet, I think, for BYU.
Hammer it. I'm on it.
Yes.
I think they win 10.
Is that your Brennan Sorsby Big 12 locked bet of the year? Or are we still waiting on that?
You're still waiting on it.
Okay.
Josh, did you have another team you want to talk about to get to there or possibly win the conference?
No.
Okay.
That's all of them. Houston, West Virginia, BYU.
I got one that's kind of interesting. I don't think they'll win the league, but, you know, Arizona State to me is kind of odd. You know, Kenny Dillingham did a great job when he first got there. They were rolling. Last year, it kind of all fell down. Obviously, Levitt got hurt. They lost at Mississippi State. They obviously struggled last year. But interesting quarterback competition they have going on. Obviously, the one that I think is expected to win based off of some recent reports is Kentucky's own starting quarterback last year for most of the year in Cutter Boley, who I think is really talented. who I kind of hated to see go because it was a great story. And I think he's really talented, really good football player, and has a chance to be good. But I don't know. My biggest question is, and I get it because he's from there and that's his alma mater, but like, why the hell did Kenny Dillingham not leave for some of these jobs in the offseason?
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I do get it, and I love the loyalty, especially nowadays in college football, but I think it'll be interesting to see how he can manage Arizona State this year with the new quarterback. Sam Levitt's not there. Jordan Tyson's not there either at receiver, who was a first-round pick. So it's not about Arizona State competing for the Big 12 championship, but can they put themselves back in the conversation to potentially be there a year from now? That's what I'm interested to see, because the Big 12 is wide open outside of the two powers in Texas Tech and BYU. I think Kenny Dillingham's a great coach. He did a great job, obviously, with Scadaboo and Levitt in that year that they should have won in the playoffs versus Texas. They let up like a 4th and 20 in overtime and lost them the game. So I think that's something I'm monitoring this year, is how does Arizona State look, and are they on the right trajectory to get back to competing at the top of the Big 12?
Gotcha. Just 2 cents on Arizona State. I got them under because they have to go to College Station, to Texas Tech, and to BYU.
That ain't easy.
And all 3 of those teams are in the playoff conversation.
Well, and I'll say this, if Cutter Boley is their quarterback, he was really, really bad on the road last year.
Correct.
Really, really bad. So, and we didn't really play in those kind of venues either when he was out there.
Yeah. So, yeah. I like Dillingham as a coach. I just don't think this is going to be the season for him. But,
and I will say this about Arizona State. Don't count Maki Keene out for the starting quarterback job for Arizona State. He threw 2,000 yards last year, 18 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 70 completion percentage, and a 141 RTG.
So nobody has faith in Coach Prime in the Buffaloes?
I have faith that they won't win more than 3 games.
Do you think this is it for Coach Prime?
I think he's going to get it to the Steve Spurrier state of, I don't want to do this anymore. This ain't fun. Like, he's going to up and walk out on him and quit on his team, coward, like Spurrier did.
Yeah,
but I don't see Dion. His boys are gone.
Yeah,
I don't see any reason for him to continue this exercise in futility.
And I think this year will prove that, because they tried to keep it going last year, and obviously they fell flat on their face. And I think after this year, probably another tough year, he's probably like, I don't need to do this anymore. I'll go back and make a shit ton of money on TV and go watch Shador be the water boy for the Browns at 4-string quarterback.
Yeah. We coming.
Yeah, I got
we coming to a studio near you is where we coming. So all right.
I will say this about Colorado. The only week I'm high on them is week 1 at Georgia Tech. I will be on Colorado.
That's interesting.
I think they cover that game against Georgia Tech. Yeah.
Okay.
Mendoza's the quarterback down there at Georgia Tech now.
Right, Mendoza.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So you ready for it, Drew?
I'm ready. Let's hear it.
Yeah, go ahead, Hammer. Let's do it.
I got this number at 6.5, so I apologize to anybody that may not be able to snag this on a book. As soon as this line came out, I bet this. Iowa State is going to be day-old hot dog water. Matt Campbell left for Penn State, 54 players went out the door.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot.
They got to play at Iowa, Utah, at BYU, at Arizona. And they only brought in 47 transfers.
Yep.
There is nothing on this bone, no meat whatsoever. This is a rebuild of rebuilds for a team that was in the conversation last year. They are going to be god-awful this year. I don't see more than 4 wins on this schedule. Under 6.5 when I got it was plus 120. I don't even see it on the board now.
Yeah, it's off the board.
Under 5.5 is minus 220. So
220.
it has absolutely gone bye-bye.
So yeah.
Under 5.5, I would play it. I would almost be tempted to play it under 4.5.
I'm kind of tempted to play 4.5.
This roster is completely trash. So
I like their quarterback though. We touched on him.
Jalen Rayner.
Yeah, we touched on him 2 weeks ago. He was a pretty good player at Arkansas State, but outside of that, I don't see very much.
Yeah, don't see that happening. And my
I
other
would
one,
say, oh, right, sorry.
go ahead.
I would say if you could find it exact the wins for Iowa State, I would go 1 win. First game against Southeast Missouri.
Yeah, they've only
What
got
do you
a
think,
couple
Hammer?
look at games and go, yeah, they should be favored in that one. So I think to get to 4, they're going to have to pull off an upset, maybe 2. So, and my other bet that I absolutely love is Kansas State over 8.5. That's my team to get to the conference championship game with Texas Tech.
Oh.
They don't play.
Your head coach?
Do what?
With a first-year head coach?
They don't play Texas
Colin
Tech.
Pond.
They don't play BYU. They don't play Utah. Those are the 3 highest win totals in the conference, and Kansas State doesn't play any of them. Let me tell you their conference schedule. Cincinnati, Houston, Kansas, Arizona State, Colorado, Oklahoma State, TCU, Arizona, Iowa State.
Dang.
I'm not as concerned about the coach as much as I'm concerned about who they got playing quarterback.
Yeah, Avery Johnson.
I don't like him.
I ain't gotta like him. The kid can play. He's a baller.
I like the idea of him.
I like the idea of him.
Yeah.
His family can eat a bag of turds.
He had a pretty disappointing season last year.
I think he had a lot going on too. So I kind of feel like that was part of his issue. Think all that, unless something else goofy happens. Man, I think this team can win 9, maybe 10 games with that schedule. And a returning quarterback, that's huge. So I think 8.5 is too low, period.
Yeah.
I think 9 they get, possibly 10.
Yeah, they're not losing any non-conference games either. So
no, they're not.
The number opened up at 6.5.
I think it is very doable for them to go 10-2, and I think 10-2 might be enough to squeeze them in. So that's my dark horse. They're plus 1,400 to win the conference.
Would you play that at plus 1,400?
I did play that at plus 1,400.
If they get there, do you think they can beat Texas Tech?
I think anything's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you get to that point in the season, I don't think there's any slam dunk.
And Hammer, I will say this about Kansas State with that weak ass Big 12 schedule that they got. Same thing with NC State. I think NC State can make the ACC championship because their ACC schedule is very doable.
Yeah, I think, and we talked about them when we did the ACC. But that's probably my best bet in that conference is NC State over 7.5 wins. I think there's too many people sleeping on NC State and CJ Bailey. Now, I don't think they beat Miami.
No.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they clear that 7.5. That's at least an 8, maybe 9 win team, depending on how some things go. And I do think they play. Virginia's the other team that's kind of right there with them, and obviously Clemson too. But I think NC State's going to be really good. I think people not giving them enough credit. And I know Dorn's kind of a dork, but CJ Bailey, he's the real deal.
Yeah,
Hammer, I just bet that Kansas State over 8.5.
That's that and Iowa State under my 2 absolute favorite plays. I do also have Houston over 7.5.
Yeah.
They don't have to play BYU, which is, obviously a bonus. Plus, Willie Fritz is just good, man. They won 10 last year. I think 7.5 is a little bit disrespectful to them. Obviously, at Texas Tech and at Utah is always tricky, but I still think they can get that. So I've got them winning 9. So even if they go 0-2 in those 2 games, at Texas Tech, at Utah, that 8's guaranteed.
9-3's on the table.
So love that one. And then the under Iowa State 6.5, which unfortunately is off the board now. But I think there's some good bets that could be made on this conference. So I have Texas Tech winning the conference plus 100.
Yeah.
But my long shot dark horse, Kansas State plus 1,400.
Like it.
See, Drew, you had. Do we all agree Texas Tech's going to win this?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And I got the 2 easy ones to guess.
So I'm going to just write down the other team that we think is going to make it.
Correct.
So
the BYU.
Boys,
K-State, of course.
Boys, I'm going to go with the surprise.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Texas Tech wins the conference. I'm going to go Houston over Texas Tech in the conference championship game. I'm a really big fan of Connor Wegman and Willie Fritz.
I like Fritz.
Yeah.
I like Texas Tech's bag full of money team too.
No doubt.
True.
Who
I don't think Connor Wegman can beat them by himself.
Yeah.
Did you have BYU, Drew? Was that your team to make it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. So I've got K-State, Drew's got BYU, and Josh has Houston actually winning over Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Going to be interesting, this conference. Because really, had Sorsby not been an idiot and was actually playing this season.
Oh, this would have been clear.
Texas Tech by a mile.
They probably would have been undefeated. Probably would have been in the number 1 seed conversation.
Yeah.
And it might have been their year.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
I'm hearing that they're going to be fine at quarterback.
Yeah.
If that is true, if that is the case, look out.
Yeah.
They could run the table. They could make me look like a damn idiot sitting here saying they're going to lose 2 games. But they always do seem to lose one they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like they run into somebody like us playing Arkansas for some unknown reason. We just stub our toe against them, I think, more than probably anybody.
I think Will Hammond's going to be just fine, though, especially when you have the talent around him.
That's it for me, man. It's not him, it's everybody else.
Especially on defense.
Like,
yeah.
That defense is stupid good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're deep. It's not just they're becoming on defense, they're becoming what Georgia used to be.
Yeah.
Just dude after dude after dude. They probably rotate 7-8 players on that defensive line.
Yeah.
It's just stupid.
Hey, money talks.
Yeah.
You ain't
sure.
lying. And man, I'll tell you, oil money is different than any other money out there.
It's different than revenue share money.
It is just different. So when this whole thing launched and went, I think it was during basketball season, and I made the comment last year that you better look out for Texas Tech in all sports.
Well, look at the Texas teams in all sports.
Oh, yeah.
And
But
they've always been that way, but now even more.
Yeah. But Texas Tech especially, because one, they've never won anything.
Yeah.
And two, that little area down there is nothing but oil fields.
Yeah.
They coming.
Yeah.
To quote another coach in the league. They coming.
They coming.
And they coming with big old sacks. They coming with Louis too, but their Louis is full of damn money.
Theirs is real.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't get
They
that.
didn't get theirs at a garage sale. Not that Dion did.
Yeah.
I'm saying. Their Louis is a little different Dion's Louis.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, good deal, boys. We almost kept it under 2 hours. So I appreciate everybody hanging in there with us. Hopefully we gave you some things to think about. If you're a bettor, partake. I'm not encouraging it, not suggesting you go do it. But if you do, we hopefully gave you some things to digest, think about, and maybe make a little bit more informed wager. So anybody got anything on any of these before we depart?
I was going to mention Noah Fafita coming back for Arizona.
Yep.
Just interesting nugget. I don't think Arizona – I think they could be decent, but, he's been a really good player for the last few years, the last 3 years at Arizona. This is his final year. I mean –
seems like forever.
Big-time player. So, it'll be exciting to see him play again, and maybe he's the one that can raise Arizona to maybe be a sleeper to make the Big 12 championship. So, but just wanted to give him some love because obviously he's been a really good player for the last handful of years. So, he's fun.
He was fun to watch. The only reason I haven't brought them up and don't really have a play on them because I think their number is going to fall right on their line of 7.5. They have to play at BYU. They have to play at Texas Tech. They have to play at Kansas State. And, of course, they get Utah at home. Utah could have arguably
and they're at West Virginia.
Best offensive lines in college football.
Yeah.
What they do with it now could be another story. But that schedule, man, is absolutely that's the league did them no favors with at BYU, Texas Tech, and Kansas State, who I think probably save Houston. Those are the best other teams in the conference. You got to play on them games on the road. That don't bode well.
I think that's interesting too. You mentioned Utah, obviously new coach. Kyle Whittingham was the head coach at Utah for 32 years.
Yeah.
Now he retires and then takes the job at Michigan.
Yeah.
They hired Morgan Scaley, who's been an assistant there for a while. So I think that'll be interesting. Utah's been at the top of the league for a long time, really.
Yeah.
Certainly in the Pac-12, and then when they transitioned to the Big 12, they've been a pretty good football team. So the new era at Utah, that'll be interesting to see. They got some good players down there at Utah, a good quarterback. So You know, I think they're a sleeper team too. Could they make the Big 12 championship potentially? But new era, we gotta kind of see what that looks like.
Yeah. If I had a lean, they're 8.5. I would lean them over, but not much.
Yeah, that's a good number about for my expectations for them.
Yeah, because they, of course, play BYU. That's their, the holy war. Then they go to Arizona, go to TCU, and then the only reason I mention it, it's an SEC school, and that's Arkansas is on their schedule.
That's a big game week 2.
It's a massive game. And I know people are probably, Arkansas, ha, ha, ha. Don't count Arkansas out of this game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's that game's in Utah, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that game's a double-digit spread too.
Utah?
Yeah, 10.5.
It's 10.5?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. That seems like a lot of points against a true Power 4 opponent.
Yeah.
Not whatever the Big 12 are doing here.
I got one more before we end it.
Okay.
I got to drop in the hammer a lot if I can borrow your hammer.
Depends on what this is. I'll let you know.
We're talking Cincinnati under 4.5 wins.
Yep. I'll allow
it. Okay. So Cincinnati, I'm not too high on this team this year. They only bring back 4 guys on the offense side of the ball, 6 on the defense side of the ball. They lost 32 guys to the transfer portal, and their quarterback I'm not a big fan of, J.C. French. And they bring 3 guys from the transfer portal on the offensive side of the ball. They bring 5 guys on defense side of the ball, and they got a lot of tough games. Texas Tech at home, at West Virginia, at Arizona, at Houston, Utah at home, at BYU. I just don't see this team winning 5 games, guys. And they play Boston College first game at home. I think Boston College is going to beat them. I got them only winning 3 games this year. That is my drop in the hammer lock. Hammer it. Cincinnati under 4.5 wins.
Yeah. They're going to ride the struggle bus big time because they play the heavies. Texas Tech, Utah, Houston, BYU.
Yep.
And Houston and BYU are
Kansas
on the road.
State at home.
Yeah, and they do play Kansas State. It is at home. And then the only other one, I think Colorado 4.5 is extremely generous. So I think they're probably closer to 3. They may clear 4. I don't see 5 wins on that schedule. So I ain't drinking the Kool-Aid. We did mention Okie State. Did we talk about them at all?
A little bit.
They're certainly going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spend any time on it, but I think 5.5 wins is doable. Because Eric Morris he brought pretty much the majority of North Texas with him. Most importantly, his quarterback
and running back.
And they don't have to play. They don't have to play the Mormon schools.
No, but they're going to get their ass beat week 2.
Absolutely going to get destroyed.
Oregon,
without question.
Yes.
But I think their conference schedule gives them a chance. I'm on them. I'm on that as well. I got it at plus 115. I don't know what
they're going to make a bowl. They're going to make a bowl.
I think so. This.
They're not going to be the laughing stock that they have been.
They'll win 6. I will say this about Oklahoma State. I think that week 1 game at Tulsa could be a very sneaky game. I don't think it's a blowout. That spread is Oklahoma State 13. I do not see Oklahoma State winning by 2 scores against Tulsa.
Against who?
Tulsa.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this Tulsa team is very improved from last year.
it was plus 120. My bad when I got it. It is drastically come down. So,
Right.
yeah. I think Mestamaker is gonna help revive that program a little bit because God knows it couldn't be much worse.
Yeah.
So, all right, boys. Well, good stuff as always. We got one more run.
One more.
SEC.
That's for last on next Thursday.
That's it.
We breaking down every team next week.
We will,
including Notre Dame.
And Notre Dame. We will give a prediction on every single SEC team, where we think the wins and losses are, who's going to play for the SEC championship, and ultimately who will win it. And Notre Dame, because I think they warrant discussion.
Yeah, I think so. Certainly.
We got to talk about the Catholics.
I have a pretty decent bet on Notre Dame this year.
We should have tied them into the ACC, but
I thought about doing it that way, but that technically they're only ACC in basketball.
Yeah.
They do play a fair amount of ACC opponents in football because of that partnership.
Yeah.
I guess maybe they got like a little rev share or something with them. I don't know how all that works. I guarantee you Notre Dame ain't doing it out of the kindness of their heart, because they have the Notre Dame Broadcasting Network. They don't need to partner with anybody for money. So there's got to be something there.
Coach Evans told us Wednesday how much money they make, off the brands and stuff. It was an absurd amount.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I haven't approached him yet, but I'm going to. I'm going to see if I can get Coach Evans on here with us next week to talk about his beloved Fighting Irish.
How he's a Fighting Irishman.
Big time.
Play like a champion today.
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
Nobody's perfect, so we allow it. But I think Vic could probably give us a really good breakdown on Notre Dame, CJ Carr, and why he thinks they're going to be in the mix at the end. Drew, you all right there, buddy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. So, again, gentlemen, a pleasure as always. Thank you for being here. Look forward to next week. Drew, I'll see you Saturday. If Saturday is move-in day in Tuscaloosa. So,
for you, Hammer?
Oh, no. I would.
Oh.
You serious, Clark? I won't even buy gas in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, you can't support the economy.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's move-in day for the incoming freshman. So we've got to take him down there and get him squared away in the dorm. So I'm hoping that will not take the entire weekend, but we'll see how she goes. So I'll do my absolute best to be back on the show, the happy hour show on Saturday.
Sounds good. And if Rendo wants me to, I may hop in Saturday as well.
Fair enough. Well, boys, again, thank you so much. Thank y'all for watching. And again, hope we gave you something you can use or at least be entertained by. So it's Go Vols.
Go Vols.
Go Big Blue.
Can't all be perfect.
Yep.
Bye.